We're here to run down week 12 of the NFL. What a crazy old week it's been. It has been probably the most insane week of football this season, at least. Don't think I'm exaggerating in saying that, especially with all the stuff that went down on Saturday. But we'll get to that as we progress through the show. My name is Jez. I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Matt. How are you this eve?
I'm all right, actually. Yeah, I've got a crazy addition to our show tonight, so it's going to be quite interesting
Is
as
it
we.
you?
Always me, the crazy addition to this podcast.
You are the crazy addition.
I am. Yeah, it should be. I should have crazy tattooed across my forehead, but don't give anybody any ideas. How are you?
I am all right. Actually, it's been a good day. I don't often have good Mondays. I'm not a big fan of Mondays normally. And it didn't start very well when I woke up and watched the Bears-Packers game.
No.
But I kind of saw it coming, so
You did.
The blow was cushioned by knowledge and common sense. So there you go. It's not the worst thing to happen, and something excellent happened in one of the other games that I finished watching this morning. So I'm going to save that for that 2-minute period, but exciting thing for Jez to come out of one of the games.
Yes.
So, shall we crack into our first topic?
We should. And because it was Thursday and it was Thanksgiving, it's a Thanksgiving tradition, just like the turkey on my head. It's going to be a new tradition in this household that the Detroit Lions hosted the first game of the weekend, taking on the Houston Texans after being defeated 41 points to 25 by the Texans. The Detroit Lions fired their head coach, Matt Patricia, and he was swiftly followed by general manager Bob Quinn. Was this deserved?
Absolutely, it was deserved. That team has had talent coming out of it since long before Matt Patricia was in charge, and all the way through Matt Patricia being in charge. I'm not sure about Bob Quinn, whether that was deserved, because I think he's done quite a good job of scouting talent, bringing talent in, bringing in parts that kind of fit the mold.
Yeah.
I just feel like Matt Patricia has let the side down from a coaching point of view. So half and half. Yes, Matt Patricia deserved to go. Bob Quinn, probably not. I don't know the full story of what they perceive to be Bob Quinn's ills, but I felt like he did a fairly good job. He signed Adrian Peterson when the Washington team dropped him. I thought that was an inspired move when everybody else, didn't, and he's been scoring for them. He's done very well. So I don't know. What do you think?
Well, as we all know, Matt Patricia is a former Patriot, but on my part, there's no love lost here. His record as the head coach in Detroit is awful, well below par, especially when you have someone like Matt Stafford, in my opinion, at quarterback. So, yes, he deserved the sack. I don't know, like you said, the full story behind the general manager, Bob Quinn. Something I'll look into and delve into that whole story. But the Texans just owned them pretty much all game. Deshaun Watson, 318 yards, 4 touchdowns. Will Fuller hauled in 2 of those and had a 171-yard game. Thanksgiving was that for the Texans. But the Lions, as always, on Turkey Day, usually flop.
Yeah. It was disappointing that it wasn't Bears Lions. It has been for a couple of years.
It has, yeah.
I would have enjoyed, putting a beating on the Lions for Thanksgiving. That would have made me thankful for sure. But it was fairly entertaining to watch Deshaun Watson light it up on them and get 30 points for Will Fuller on my fantasy team, which is beautiful.
Yes.
Cracking on with the next Thanksgiving game then, which was the Dallas Cowboys hosting and being embarrassed by the Washington football team. Are we at the stage where Mike McCarthy should be worried about his job, even after this is his only year in Dallas so far? But is his seat burning? Is he on the hot seat? 2 minutes.
Well, whoop whoop for Washington. They absolutely owned the Cowboys in what was, in my honest opinion, a big game for Alex Smith. He only had 149 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Antonio Gibson was their star, but he only had 115 yards, but he got 3 rushing touchdowns. That was a crazy game of football. Yes, I think McCarthy deserves the sack. The Cowboys are awful, week in, week out. And yeah, their fans might argue, but do they have any valid points? They can take my turkey hat if they can prove that they don't suck.
I look at Mike McCarthy in 2 ways. The first is, obviously, he was a very successful coach for the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
But there was that whole event. Oh, there's a raid coming in. Welcome, Raiders. I will get to you in a second when we're not in the middle of 2 minutes. The word, especially from like Aaron Rodgers, as we came to the end of McCarthy's tenure in Green Bay, was that he was kind of stuck in the past and he hadn't changed with the times in the NFL and was still coaching like it was 2002, and so wasn't really ready to take a team back to the Super Bowl, even though he'd done it several times in the previous couple of years, or at least deep into the playoffs. So I wonder if he's just taken everything he was doing wrong in Green Bay and applied it to the Dallas Cowboys, and that's why he's not done very well. Alternatively, maybe the Cowboys suck because they haven't got any players left. That's probably where I would go. Everyone is injured in Dallas.
Wow.
It's hard to put blame on a coach when he hasn't had any of his regular people to carry the team for him, really.
I think.
Welcome, Raiders. Welcome to Lil Cute Girl 86, Tantanaki, Captain Brilliant, Nova Charter with Raid himself, Eric Dewey, Gen 1014. Welcome, all of you. Great to have you. You have only missed the Thanksgiving slate of games so far. We're going to crack into the rest of Week 12 in the NFL right about now, actually. And yeah, Matt's wearing a stupid hat, but would we really expect anything less?
That's why they raided. They got wind of the turkey hat, and it does this with its legs and this with its wings, and all sorts. But yeah, you've got to come up with a name. Anyway, rolling into.
Oh, hold on a second. Tamzanaki asks, "Is it a turkey?" No, it's Matt.
Absolutely.
Now you can carry on.
No, I can carry on. Thank you. So yeah, the third Thanksgiving was scheduled to be the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers, but due to a raft of COVID-19 cases, the game was first postponed to Sunday and then to Tuesday night. Do we think this game will actually happen? What do you reckon?
I think it will, but in much the same way that the Broncos Saints game was not really a game, it will happen because first and foremost, they don't have their starting quarterback. Jackson has contracted COVID-19 and will not play, as well as a whole load of other players as well. I'm sure you've got the number. But the NFL is really keen to play the games in the weeks that they're scheduled. When they had to rejig a little bit earlier in the season around week 4, when there was a few games that were postponed for COVID reasons, they weren't really happy to push things into other weeks unless they could swap it with a bye week. Obviously, that ship has sailed in every instance now every team has had their bye week. So they would have to postpone to another week, like a week 18 of the season now, because we've already got... Is it this year we got the extra week? I can't even remember anymore, but they don't want to have to put games on after the regular season was scheduled to finish. So I think whether it looks like football or not, there will be a game on Tuesday night. How about you?
Well, like you said, I did have the number, and I don't know whether it's up to date. It was what was last night around about 9:30 UK time. It came in breaking news that 21 of the Baltimore Ravens squad are on the COVID list, and that is including Lamar Jackson, as you mentioned. I can't see this game happening. I want it to, but if it doesn't happen, who are they going to award it the victory to, or will the league ruin the Steelers' perfect record and call a tie game?
Oh, I hope they don't just award a victory. I would hate that.
Yeah, me too.
I would much rather they postponed it to after the regular season and just had like a mop-up week of COVID cancellation games.
Yeah.
I don't like that idea of declaring a winner. I mean, you'd have to declare the Steelers a winner because they were going to win anyway. But
well, yeah, more than likely. Anyway,
you were getting a lot of compliments for your turkey hat. Oh, you might have to keep it on. I think there will be an uproar in the chat if you take that off.
The chat can name it. The chat can name the turkey hat.
The chat can name it. Oh, well, you know, you've got a few Brits in there, so you may end up with Turkey McTurkeyface because that's how we name things in this country.
Kind of, yeah.
But perhaps the Americans can take their true Thanksgiving spirit and give it a name.
Absolutely.
I know what I would call it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Little Cute Girl will be with me on this. I would call it Twerky. Frank, says Reese.
Frank, yeah. Does this. It's I wish it did it automatically, It needs a battery pack and some arms into it and stuff. But there we are.
You need a battery pack.
No, I'm pretty wired, to be honest.
We may have a winner. As your wife gets tickled in the background. Tamsinaki says a cranberry. Cranberry. Hey, I like that one. Tamsinaki's always got the puns. We love that. Felix the turkey, says Little Cute Girl.
Felix.
Nova says Fred at first, but then he was like, "Oh, Joey from the Friends episode."
Yes, that's a good one. It's a shame it's
so
not
I think the we'll let you think on it.
Yeah,
but you're not allowed to take it off now. The chat has spoken. But you can choose a little bit later in the show between Cranberry and Joey.
Okay.
So let that mull.
I'll decide before we do the predictions.
That works. That sounds good. So let's get through to the predictions. Smash into our next topic. Yes. So it's not just the Ravens-Steelers game that are having problems with COVID-19. Owing to close contact with members of the roster that had positive cases, the Denver Broncos had no QBs to play on Sunday night. None. Not one. All of them were on the COVID list. So instead, they went with a combination of running back Philip Lindsay in the Wildcat formation and a wide receiver from the practice squad called Kendall I can't even say his name. Kendall Hinton.
Yes. Stepping
in at quarterback. And to nobody's surprise, the Saints smashed them into bits and beat them 31-3. Strange situation. What did you think of it?
Well, this game was played because, and it was something I'd heard this side of the pond last night on Sky Sports, and the league office said that if any team is affected but still has warm bodies to play in any position, then games will go ahead. Does it suck for Denver? Yes, but this is COVID football 2020. It was when they put out no recognized QBs, that is their own fault. They had all 4 quarterbacks in the same room at the same time at the practice facility. So stupid idea to do that. A lot of teams have gone, some quarterbacks in the room at the practice facility, others virtually on a screen like we are. Blowout for the Saints with Taysom Hill under center, and they roll on at number 1 seed in the NFC. What do you think?
I agree with you that it's kind of their own fault.
Mhm.
They had QBs in the training facility, and they were all together without masks on.
Yeah.
So it is kind of what they get. It's not like they had, their main QB and then just a bunch of random backups. They're like,
Yeah.
I'm sure Blake Bortles was on their roster. Forgotten his name now. They've had a few different starters over the last couple of weeks.
Mhm.
So to have lost all of them was really unfortunate. But it just reminded me of playing football here. It's like, our QB can't make it this week. He's working, or he's got his kids, or some other random nonsense excuse. And it's like, all right, then, well, next man up. Have you ever thrown a ball before? Yeah, all right, you're our QB for the week. Job done.
Yeah. So true, so true.
Reese has asked a question. I don't understand it. Pardon my lack of NFL knowledge, but real football over here do the same as do rugby. I'm not sure what he's saying. As in, it's just tough. Get on with it.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, soccer do, and I guess rugby does at a professional level.
I mean, not to be an arse about it, but there is a lack of kind of specific skill positions in soccer and rugby.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, the only kind of comparison I can make is that there are no goalkeepers on the squad.
No.
So you have to replace a goalkeeper with like a striker or something.
Yeah.
That's really the only comparison I can make. Pretty much all of the, like, especially in rugby, it's not quite as specialized. And although they do kind of designate by number, you've got your number 10s, etc., that play specific roles.
Yeah.
They do interchange a lot more readily than anybody else playing quarterback. The idea that some random person could step in and play quarterback at a professional level in the NFL is hilarious. But I get what you mean. I think it would have been better if the NFL had have given the Denver Broncos a chance to sign another quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah.
But obviously they had to go through a physical. They had to get COVID tested. So it would have taken days for somebody to actually be able to join the roster. It had to be someone on their roster. And poor old Kendall Hinton. Why can't I say his name? Kendall Hinton. With his 1 completed pass and 8 incompletions.
Yeah.
13 yards and 2 interceptions.
I
think that guy needs a massive pay rise.
Yeah. Well, his only experience at quarterback was in high school, 2017. That's what I heard on the Red Zone last night.
He played college at Wake Forest, but he was beaten out by somebody else, so he was benched as a quarterback in college.
Yeah. Well, there we are. The man nobody
should have let the
knows.
punter do it.
Yeah.
Punters are good at throwing footballs.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was weird. Let's crack on.
Yes, and on to my New England Patriots, and they picked up what I think we can both agree on is a shock victory over the Arizona Cardinals last night, winning 20 points to 17 off the leg of Nick Foles as the time expired. Do the Patriots have a chance at the playoffs? What do we think?
No. Next question. But seriously, it's not just me being flippant. I don't think they do.
Yeah.
Although they won last night, although the Patriots won, it was not pretty.
No.
It was not skilled in any way. I didn't see much improvement from Cam Newton at all compared to previous weeks.
No.
Defensively, you did a lot better, but largely, I feel the Arizona Cardinals pretty much beat themselves.
Yeah.
And especially right at the end of the game, where you won because of a penalty.
Yeah.
You had the opportunity to kick the field goal because of a penalty.
Yeah.
That was committed by Arizona. So, no, I think you got very lucky. I'm happy for you. Not really. And it cost me an accumulator. It was my sole loss in an accumulator. So thanks for that. What do you think?
Well, I said to you last night, didn't I, after the game? I said I love Nick Foles, but with an expletive in. He stole
Nick
that
Foles. Nick Folk, you mean?
Nick Folk. Yeah, why have I put... It's your fault, Nick Foles. With the bloody Bears, Nick Folk. He stole that game with a 50-yarder. It'd be funny to see Nick Foles kick a 50-yarder. Anyway, playoffs. I think if we win the last 5 games of the season, then sure, we'll be 10-6. Is that good enough, though? We'll see. AFC East is... Well, the AFC in general is very competitive. We've been put in the hunt for playoffs after last night. This wasn't pretty, as I said. Some of the ref calls were contentious, especially the Gunnar Olszewski block for an 82-yard punt return touchdown. But if you've seen the clip, you'll know what I mean. But yeah, who knows?
Yeah, I suppose that would have put you ahead.
Yeah. I don't think he was coming. So. I don't think he was coming back on his. I don't think he shifted his position enough for it to be called a penalty. But that's my opinion as a Patriots fan. So it's always going to be biased. So
I haven't looked into it closely enough to make an assessment as a former official.
Yes,
I have not made a proper assessment according to the rules, but maybe I'll go back and have a look.
Yeah, have a look at it.
Let you know.
It's an interesting call.
If I agree with you, I won't tell you.
Okay.
If I don't agree with you, I will tell you. How about that?
Yes.
That sound fair?
Yeah, it's usually the case, isn't it?
Pretty much.
Yep.
Don't want to give you any ammunition.
Absolutely
especially for
not.
the Patriots.
No.
But some other shock victories from Week 12 included the San Francisco 49ers beating the LA Rams 23-20 and the Atlanta Falcons demolishing the Las Vegas Raiders 43-6. I know you've got a soft spot for the Raiders. What do you think of both of those games? 2 minutes.
Well, the 49ers did surprise me with this win. I caught bits of that game on the red zone. It seemed really scrappy. It didn't really have any flow. That obviously continued after I turned off. But a win is a win, and they need all they can get in San Francisco. The Falcons, however, would always win this, right? I mean, with that...
No.
Well, yeah. But with the performances of Derek Carr and the Raiders have been putting up this season, notably knocking off the Kansas City Chiefs and then going really close to beating them again, what was it, last week or the week previous to that?
Yeah.
And then to only put 6 up against the Atlanta Falcons. That's inconsistency, and that's what it screams to me. What did you think?
Eric Dewey, thank you for the follow, first of all.
Thank you.
I think this is fairly similar. The the Atlanta game I'm talking, the Atlanta
Yeah.
and Raiders game, I think it's fairly similar a situation to the Patriots and Cardinals in that the Raiders beat themselves in a lot of ways. They just played poorly. They didn't turn up. They probably underestimated the Atlanta Falcons, as I did when I predicted that the Raiders would win. And Chucky in his press conference took full responsibility for it and said, no, look, we turned up. We didn't play well. The Atlanta Falcons did play well. And so they put a hurt on us. It's strange how much better the Falcons have been since firing their head coach and general manager.
Yeah.
It's insane. Maybe everyone should fire everyone. I think the Bears should fire everyone. That's definitely what I think there. But
yeah, and that's a story for a little bit later, isn't it? Your feelings on what went down early hours this morning here in the UK.
Yeah, maybe I should use my timeout in the next topic so I don't have to talk about it too long.
Yeah. Anyway, so as you're saying, close battles, and Kansas City held on against Tom Brady and his Tampa Bay Buccaneers 27-24. The Giants beat the Bengals 19 points to 17 to go top of their division. The Browns struggled to stop the Jags scoring, but they held on 27-25. And the Minnesota Vikings pipped the Carolina Panthers 28 points to 27. What have we learned from that absolute plethora of games that I've just outlined there?
Definitely think I'm going to need my timeout, but let's see how we go. So, first of all, I don't understand why the Bucs aren't winning. I just don't get it, because you could make an argument for Brady not being very good earlier in the year, especially in that first game against the Saints, and even in the last game against the Saints, to be fair. But Saints aside, improvements have been made every single week. Brady is putting the ball around. He's got plenty of targets. He's scoring touchdowns. He's throwing the odd interception here and there as well. That is a knock against him. But you show me a quarterback that doesn't throw interceptions, I'll show you Patrick Mahomes, I guess. And the running game is there, or thereabouts. So I just don't get it. Defense is dominant as well. I just don't get what's going on there. But my fantastic bit of news for the week, even though your Patriots cost me the bet, thanks to Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady, I won my bet in which the combined teams had to score 2 field goals, and then Mahomes and Brady each had to score more than 2 touchdowns, so 3 touchdowns at least, and they did that. So I won my money back and a bit more. Yay! Vikings wise, they might be out of their own way now. Finally, they were pretty much just beating themselves week in and week out.
Yeah.
Now they seem to have a bit of a flow going. It's not pretty, but they're getting the job done. And finally, here's my timeout, so I can actually give you some time. Mike Glennon in Jacksonville played better than he ever did as either a Tampa Bay Buccaneer or a Chicago Bear. That guy was utter trash for both of those teams, and he looked like a MVP quarterback against whoever they were against. Who were they against? The Browns. He looked like an MVP quarterback against the Browns. Yeah, that was quite a solid defense. The Browns should have dealt with him a lot easier than they actually did. You can have a minute and a half now. Go for it.
Well, like you said, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just seem so inconsistent. And I don't know whether it's since Antonio Brown came in with his horrible, horrible curse. Brady looked fine. Gronk looked fine. Ronald Jones, he was awesome, in my opinion. Like you said, defensive line is stacked and, dominant there. What's going on with with Tampa Bay. I think there's a little bit of butting of heads between quarterback Tom Brady and Bruce Arians as the head coach. Vikings Panthers, that was another case of missed chances that cost the W. And this was the case there with the Panthers, and their squiffy kick at the end of the game just sailed off right. And that was, I kind of wanted that to go to overtime because that started heating up towards the end. New York Giants seem to be winning all of a sudden, and they're going under that radar of teams that are picking up a couple of consistent week in, week out wins. However, they have lost Daniel Jones up to a hamstring injury, and they'll be waiting on that report, I guess, this week to see where he stands.
Yeah, I forgot to talk about the Giants, but I mean, they beat a team that doesn't have a quarterback, so you can't give them too much credit.
No, absolutely not.
No, good on them. They are leading the NFC East now, for what that's worth.
Someone has to.
Are there many Brits in the NFL at the moment? No, there are not, actually.
No, I think we lost... who was the guy who played for the Eagles? JJ.
Yes, he's gone. There was the defensive lineman that played for the Raiders. Don't think he's there anymore. Jack something.
Yeah, there was the guy
his name now, but I'm pretty sure he's not there anymore.
There was the guy who went over from Rugby Union, was it?
Yeah,
Rugby Union.
He never made it
to the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, he never made it to an active roster. He shined in preseason.
Yeah,
but he never made it.
He made
Jack
it
Crawford,
into NFL
that's who
fantasy.
I'm thinking of.
Ah, right. Yeah.
Where's he now? Let's have a look. Oh, this is too much writing. It's too much writing. Well, perhaps we'll discuss that on another day in another topic, probably after the season's finished and we're looking for things to discuss. But not as many as they were a couple of years ago, as you mentioned, Reese. Don't know what changed. I mean, BAFA's program to actually highlight players to the rest of the world isn't really working. But at the same time, there aren't the European programs, especially in like France and Poland,
Germany,
and Japan, even over in Asia, Germany. They're all very good American football programs, and they're not pushing people into the NFL either. So maybe when the XFL is back and actually gets a full season, we might see some
hopefully
foreign players break in a bit more, but not so much right now. Thanks for the question.
Brilliant question.
And it delayed the inevitable of me having to talk about this topic. So thank you for that. And finally, not even the return of Mitchell Trubisky was enough to turn around the Bears' woes. The Green Bay Packers put a 41-25 hurt on Chicago. The question, again, similar to the question I asked you earlier, is this officially the end of the Bears' playoff hopes? 2 minutes, here we go.
Ouch, this is a stinger, yes. But you do play them again in a few weeks. And maybe you can...
Last week of the season,
Maybe you can exact a little bit of revenge by turning over a result. It depends. In regards to the question about the playoff hopes of the Bears, are they gone? Is it the end? I don't think the Bears are going to drop out of the playoffs. Unless they lose every game between this coming week and week 17, they'll still be in that.
That's what they'll do.
In the hunt, in that little black box that stands off the side of who's the seeds, who's the wild cards, and who's in the hunt that these NFL shows throw up week in, week out. I just think maybe, just maybe, they'll even surprise you, Jeremy.
Now, we'll be out of the hunt by next week when a team like the Vikings picks up another win and the Bears don't. we're currently tied in that position. I don't see us being in there anymore. I mean, the benefit is that we're playing the Lions next week.
Yeah.
But Lions have fired their coach and GM. What happens to a team that fires their coach and GM? They come and smash their opponent no matter who it is the week after. It doesn't make any sense, but that's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bears are just terrible right now. It's so painful to watch. I don't expect them to make the playoffs. I don't expect them to win many more games this year. I do expect them to fire Matt Nagy, and I especially expect them to fire Ryan Pace, the general manager, because his personnel decisions have been poor for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
He's terrible. He needs to go. Like, why we ever signed Nick Foles in the first place. I was not happy then. I'm not happy now. Yeah, not a happy Bears fan.
Don't worry, Nick Foles kicked a 50-yarder for the New England Patriots.
That's where he was.
That's where he was, performing somewhere else.
You can keep him.
Yeah,
you can keep him.
He's a performing bear. Not that I believe in performing animals. Anyway, interesting week in which we saw a lot of interesting results. But we're going to review last week's games, as we always do.
Hold on.
Okay.
You've got a job to do first.
Oh, of course I do. Name the turkey hat. What were the options again?
Choose the name. The options were, let me just scroll back up. Cranberry from Tamsinaki.
Okay.
Or Joey from Nova Charter. Those were your two choices.
So, Tamsinaki, have you got a favourite NFL team? Because I already know Nova Charter's favourite team. And I could just be a Patriot and be biased.
I mean, I would go out on a limb.
Yeah.
And suggest that Tamsinaki probably does not have a favourite NFL team.
Okay.
She's just generally supportive of the Jez Show Network.
Okay.
And is here for us rather than for the NFL.
Okay.
So I would leave out the team biases.
Yeah.
And just do it purely on the merit of the names.
Yeah, I think with it being the holiday season, and the big day coming up in about four weeks now, just under. Yeah, Tamsinaki, your turkey hat is called Cranberry. Or my turkey
Cranberry.
Hat. There we go. It'll come out once a year. It's not even going to come. It's not going to come out.
It's my hat.
It's my hat. Can it come off now?
No.
Okay.
No, you're wearing that for the rest of the show.
Okay.
Might even make you wear it next week. We'll see. We'll let the chat decide. Okay. Does Matt have to wear it next week? No, immediately pops in from Reese. No, you cannot take it off. No. Right. Now you can lead into our prediction game for last week and get us started on this week.
Nearly got away with it, didn't I? Anyway, so as we always do, and we're now predicting week 12. And rather we did. And we're going to review these game predictions from last week. So we came into week 12, Jeremy leading 7 week predictions correct for Jeremy, 3 for me, and we'd had a tied one. This week, I did it. Finally, for the first time in about, must be 4 weeks,
5 weeks, I think.
5 weeks, something like that. And I won it 9 correct predictions to your 8. So we now have the score on the year. You're with 7, I'm with 4, and a tied game. Can I catch up? We've got 5 weeks left. Is the comeback on?
You can do it.
Could I make the Super Bowl or the playoffs? But there we go. But yeah, we're gonna predict week 13 now and see where we lie next week.
Little cute girl says, Matt, you can never take off that turkey hat ever.
I'd probably get fired from my job, although they'd probably find it funny. not the firing.
Yeah.
You can't see me.
Yeah, you've got a supervision tomorrow. That'd be great if you turn up in a turkey hat. Oh, please do it.
Absolutely, yeah. Can you imagine
I'm sure someone can hire you.
Yeah, clown school down the road.
All right, here we go then. You can read out the games and we'll predict them. 2 minutes. Let's go.
Seahawks at Eagles.
Seahawks.
Same. If it happens, Ravens at Steelers.
Said it last week. Not changing. Steelers.
Yeah, I'm going Steelers, even if I have changed from last week. Saints at Falcons.
I still think the Saints are the better team. Saints.
Yeah, I think Saints will edge this one. Jags at the Vikings.
Vikings. Not putting any money on them, but Vikings.
Yeah, I don't think the Jags are that good, so Vikings. Browns at Titans.
I believe in the Browns. I think the Browns take this.
I believe in the Browns because they're so underrated. Lions at Bears.
Lions.
No, I'm going Bears. Bengals at Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Yeah, same. Washington at Steelers.
Steelers.
Yeah. Colts at Texans.
Colts.
I'm going Texans. Raiders at Jets.
Raiders at Jets. No, it's Raiders. I'm not
Yeah,
it's Raiders.
Yeah. Jets just aren't going to win that, are they? Giants at Seahawks.
Seahawks.
I'm going Giants on that one. I don't know why. I just am. Rams at Cardinals.
Cardinals.
I'm going Cardinals as well. Patriots at Chargers.
I'm going Patriots this week.
Do you know, I'm going to break with tradition and say Patriots. Eagles at Packers. Almost did it.
Packers. Easy. Packers game for them. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I can't see the Eagles doing anything special. Broncos at the Chiefs.
Whether or not the Broncos have got a QB, the Chiefs are going to beat them.
Oh, yeah, I just see Mahomes just putting up numbers like he did yesterday. And then to round us off, Cowboys at Ravens.
Well, we've already run out of time, so even if I ramble on for a bit, whatever, at this point. This is difficult to predict because we don't know what state the Ravens are going to be in by next Monday night. Next Sunday night, rather.
Yeah.
No, wait, what's going on here? That's scheduled for 10 o'clock next Monday now.
As in?
They've changed it. Looking at the schedule up on my top screen.
Oh.
Yeah, that's weird. Okay, I didn't know they changed it. So
10 p.m. UK time?
10 p.m. UK time on the 7th of December. So we'll be going straight from this broadcast next week
into Cowboys Ravens. Wow.
I love that. As long as it happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I love that. I think, and it's so hard to predict, I could change my mind next week. Let's not predict that. It's not going to happen before the show. Let's leave it. Let's see where we are.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, let's leave that one.
Boom.
Yeah. Let's put a line under it and remember it. Let's put it at the top of our...
Press enter and give it a gap.
Yes.
Yeah. Just looked at that and was looking. So actually... Yeah, so the Sunday night game is Broncos at Chiefs. And then the Monday night game that we will predict next week is Bills at 49ers. And then you've got the Ravens-Cowboys game.
Yes.
At 10 p.m. Cool. There we go. I did not know that they jigged around with that.
No.
It must have happened very recently.
I can see the reasoning behind it with what's happened with Ravens Steelers. But, yeah.
I think that might have... There we are. Yeah, that must have been the Thursday night game because there is no Thursday night game listed.
Right.
So that's that. That's the Thursday night game that they've pushed to Monday night. Excellent. I hate Thursday night games apart from Thanksgiving. So we can have them at 10 o'clock on a Monday night. That suits me perfectly. Love
Absolutely.
it. Love it.
Absolutely.
Resus, did you just go against the Bears with that very quiet prediction? Yes.
He
yes,
always does, Reese. I'm the one that believes
I don't
in the
always.
Bears.
You will flash back to the first couple of weeks of the season where I was, confidence a strong word. No, I haven't got a word for it.
No.
It's kind of like confidence, but it's when you are confident you're about to be stabbed in the head.
With an ice pick.
Yeah, it's that kind of confidence. It's confidence that you're going to die. There's probably a word for that. That's how I felt at the beginning of the season. Now I'm already dead inside. Thanks, Bears.
Well, I just had a whole thing about betting against the Patriots and it's worked. And now I've just gone and say, oh, yeah, the Patriots will win.
Yeah.
Jinx that one, didn't I?
I'm not normally here yet, Matt says, Reese. It's true. It's about now he turns up, just as we're about to run through what's happening on the network.
Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed your brew.
Let's see what's coming up on the Jez Show Network this week. And this is already out of date because we had a new member of the network join us this weekend and didn't quite get his schedule in time for me to include in this, but I will put it in for the rest of the week. Coming up in about 40 minutes at 10:30 p.m. It's Minecraft Mondays with Captain Soro. Tomorrow there are 4 different broadcasts across the network. At 3 p.m. it's the main roster on my channel, twitch.tv/The Jez Show. At 6 p.m. it is the previously mentioned, usually late Research 1 with American Truck Simulator. At 7:30 p.m. Always Be Chatting is going back to kill teenagers in the snow on Until Dawn. Captain Soro is at 10:30 with Jack and Daxter, which is a game he's very excited about and I've never heard of. So I'll be interested to see what that's about. It's a PS2 game, apparently.
Oh.
Never heard of it.
No.
On Wednesday, the streams kick off at 6 p.m. GMT with a Spock the Dog birthday special from Little Cute Girl 86. And then Captain Brilliant takes over, cooking for humans rather than dogs at 7:30. He's making a braised beef brisket.
Nice. Unless
he cocks it up, of course. If he cooks the beef too long, then it'll only be fit for dogs. We'll see. I'm sure he will do a wonderful job, and it'll be moist and tasty and lovely. At 9 p.m, it's everybody's favourite Ranty Banty podcast, Don't Get Me Started, with me and Always Be Chatting. At 10:30, Captain Sora with Jack and Daxter once again. We are getting very busy in the network. There's a lot more to come up later in the week, but I'll let you have a look at that should you so wish. And we'll discuss them in more detail in the coming days. So, last kind of question or chat with you. Last week we were talking about the Macmillan Cancer Support stream.
Yeah.
And obviously we did that on Saturday. You and I played some games.
We did.
How did you find that? And our attempt to play Madden that did not go very well.
Yeah,
it was Mega Drive.
It was a bit of a flashback to years gone by. And mind you, years gone by, I wouldn't have had screaming kids and animals roaming at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was something different for me. And we've spoken about future possibilities, and yeah, we'll see where it goes. If I can get something started with finding something people might find interesting, because my Xbox One game catalog is awful. But yeah, how did you find it playing along with me for a change?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I haven't played a video game with you for a very long time.
No.
Actually. I think the last time we played a video game was when I came to visit you after the birth of your first child.
Yeah.
And we played. What year was your oldest born? Like 2007, was it?
2000. He was back end 2008.
Yeah, so it must have been Madden 07 or Madden 08 that we were playing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I kicked your ass.
Yeah, probably did. You wouldn't have won that. You wouldn't have won it on the Mega Drive though, because I practiced.
I know. I was disappointed that didn't quite work.
Yeah.
Our online connection, pardon me, didn't really work.
No,
because I thought I was annihilating you, but it turns out I was just beating a team that wasn't being controlled, and you thought the same, and it was a mess. But we'll reprise that one day. I'm sure we can find a Madden game that we can play online together at some point, and
definitely.
I'll kick your teeth in then.
Roll back the years, and something like that happened, didn't it? Can't remember.
Yeah, make us feel old is basically the crux of what will happen.
Yeah.
And on that note, this is where we close. I'm going to kick off the music. Thank you very much for joining us for another edition of 2 Minute Warning. We'll be back next week for a special pre-Monday Night Football edition of 2 Minute Warning in week 13. As long as COVID doesn't strike even harder than it already has in the NFL. Hang around if you're on Twitch. We're going to go and raid Paris ENT, who is a fantastic human being. He's playing The Simpsons Hit and Run, which is a game I've been playing as well. But go give Paris your energy. He's got plenty of energy for himself. He doesn't need any more, but give it to him anyway. I've been Jez. That has been Matt. Say goodbye, Matt.
Goodbye, Matt.